Presidential Aid Office of the President. Dr. Ramsey Inusa is also Director of Research for the United Party. Gentlemen, good to see you. Good to have you.
Good to see you too.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning,
Johnny.
good morning. Charlie, how are you doing?
We're still biting.
Are you sure? Doc, how's government work these days?
A bit stressful, but I mean, for the good people of Ghana, definitely we are called to serve.
Right.
We have no other option. Just like all other jobs, we all wake up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Dress very early so that we beat the traffic. And so we
Sunrise
are no
on
different
3FM, the
from any
best
other
in the
Ghanaian that
morning.
also wakes up 5 a.m. And so for me as a young person, I think it's a great privilege to work for government, to work for the masses, to speak for the masses, and to disseminate government information. So for me, I mean, it's stressful, but not unusual.
Is there a scandal yet?
No scandal yet.
So
There have been attempts to paint a picture as though there are many scandals. The point is that the MPP are in a haste to paint government black so that they can equalize.
Equalize on what?
You see, somebody even posted that it is a scandal not to have a scandal by this time. Because in 2017, 2018, by this time, there was an avalanche of scandals under the MPP. That time, cash for seat has come. A number of them had arrived at the time. But because of the, obvious anti-corruption and accountability measures the government have put in place, I'm talking about the value for money office. We are looking at the commitment authorization and
at the finance ministry.
Exactly. All international travels by any CEO, any agency must get prior approval from the chief of staff. Everything has been done to put government in check so that we do not overstep our boundaries. We do not overspend. We do not live a champagne life on an appetition budget. You understand? So really, government has been responsible in the last few months, and I believe that people of Ghana have appreciated, and they've clearly found a difference between the NDC government and the MPP government. They know that the NDC government is far superior to the MPP government. And I know that by the time the 4 years will elapse, the people of Ghana can heave a sigh of relief and pat themselves at the back that on 7th January 2024, they made a good choice. And that choice is President John Dramani Mahama, who will deliver on the mandate that he has been given.
Dr. Ramsey, United Party.
Yes.
What is your research showing you?
Well, Johnny, let me say good morning to your listeners and to your good self. Indeed, it's been a while.
Yes, indeed.
But we've been hanging on the fence.
We try.
Yes. The UP is still a growing party, and indeed, it's a party for the people and for the future.
In the morning.
Currently, we are still building from the base. Very soon we'll be unveiling some of our regional offices, right, and our constituency offices as well. But I can tell you that we are resonating well with the grassroots people, especially with our transformational plan, the great transformational plan that seeks to transform Ghana's economy, right?
You are not happy with what is happening?
Well, it can be better. It can be better, but the current macroeconomic indicators are good, are positive. It's better than before. I must admit that the current macroeconomy under the NDC is better. Under the NDC is better than before.
Are you feeling it in your pocket?
Well, in some ways, yes. I mean, if the dollar is now stable, right, instead of being hovering around 17 cedis per dollar, of course, then it would have an effect on inflation, and definitely you feel it in your pocket. So definitely I'll give them that when it comes to the macroeconomy. So I think that we can do better when it comes to the real sector of the economy, productivity, investment, and also ensuring that we have an enterprise economy as we have espoused in our great transformational plan, and support the private sector to be the engine of growth. So we will continue to put them on their toes as a formidable opposition so that the people of Ghana get what they deserve and what they also promise them.
Okay. Doc, let me begin this again with you. The ECG intends to deploy drones. This is not the first time to fix power power issues and to have an oversight and eagle-eyed view on it. But this is not the first time we're deploying drones to do any problem solving. Remember drones for Galamsey? Remember that? And it gives me. Why are you laughing? I'm just contextualizing the.
Do you know? You finish. I'll tell you something.
No. So then, I want to know what your thoughts are on this new drive by the ECG to want to use drones to find. I will find the man in charge of external communications at ECG to speak with, and then we can position that as well.
Yes,
but I want to hear you.
Yes, I think that is a laudable idea. The fact that drones have not been able to serve its purpose
Get closer to the maximum.
under a previous regime doesn't mean that it will not serve a better purpose under a new regime. You know that the previous administration is actually under investigation at Fort Estate concerning these drones for Galamsey issue.
Right.
I've received several calls and correspondences from reps of Fort Estate to investigate the matter, and we have given them the opportunity to go through it. And I'm sure in due time they will, as a matter of fact, publish it so that you know exactly where it went. In fact, under the previous regime, they brought some medical drones.
That's right, zipline.
When we came, we realized that what the core mandate of that drone was not being used for what it was supposed to do.
What was it being used for?
Normally, they are used for essential things.
That's right.
Blood, emergency medication. For example, if somebody has a heart attack
That's
now,
right. That's right.
there has to be medication that
In quick time.
That's how those
And you're a
drugs are
doctor,
used.
so you understand
Exactly,
better
exactly,
than I do.
Exactly, you understand. So, I can mention one example of a drug. We call it Altiplace. So when you have a heart attack, it is given to you. Normally, heart attacks are normally caused by, blood clots in any of the blood vessels around the heart. You understand?
Right.
I don't want to go into the details.
That's right.
That's generally what it is. When you are given that medication, in few minutes, it melts the clots.
Okay.
And you are a free man. So when you have a situation where you need a quick transport, you can use a drone for that.
Okay.
But when we came, we realized that they were using drones for supply of textbooks and condoms and other things.
Come on, you can't be serious.
Yes, the health minister.
You cannot be serious.
No, the health minister actually brought it out.
That
we
the
paying
drones were being used for what?
Yes, condoms and textbooks and other things that are not necessary, that are not
within that emergency
gap. You understand? So the health minister had to abrogate the contract. They were getting $100,000 per month, take or pay agreement.
Okay, whether you use them, you use the services or not,
take their money. You understand? So we didn't think that under that
I'm shocked at what you just said, though.
Yes, it's a fact. If you look at what drones are supposed to be used for, within the framework of what we are expecting to do in Ghana, they were shortchanging Ghana $100,000 a month for transporting textbooks. You understand the point of it? So, and the minister listed all the things that they were using the drones for, including condoms. And you can check online, it's there. You understand? So really, on the face value, it was a good idea. But what it was intended to do, they were not doing. So I'm happy that today, ECG is now going digital. They are now going technological. They are now being sophisticated. I've seen several videos on social media where in other jurisdictions in other countries, companies and state institutions are using drones for such purposes, and I'm happy that it will be used by ECG to do this. I'm hoping that I will have a first-hand experience of what the drones will do. There should be efforts to encourage state institutions to be more sophisticated in addressing our issues. If at the end of the day there is an electrical issue and they can deploy a drone to quickly come and fix it, so that people can get electricity. Why not? It is a laudable idea.
So I'm on the ECG platform now because we're trying to raise Dr. Iku. We're not able to get through to him. But they said the Electricity Company of Ghana has launched the use of unmanned aerial vehicles. These are drones, or what's the internet doing at this point? Okay. And also known as drones in the operations of the company. And this was launched in October 2020, and was done after successfully training ECG engineers on how to pilot, operate, and utilize the drones at the company's training school in Tema. The task of maintaining and inspecting high voltage, so to maintain and inspect high voltage transmission and distribution lines which continually have vegetation grown on different sections, can be difficult, dangerous, and costly. As a result, utilities across the world are increasingly looking towards drones as a safe and effective tool to support them in such operations. The deployment of 15 Wingtra UAVs, the first of its kind in the company, will support the company's operations since it's become necessary for the effective monitoring of the company's distribution network. Let me cut it short because Dr. Nini Aiku is joining us on the phone line. He speaks for externally for the ECG. Doc, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, we want to understand why the drones. It's important that we do. What are they for? Are they to take us some nice videos and pictures?
Please, let me get a question again.
I'm asking the deployment of the drones. Are they to take us some nice photos and pictures and videos, or what are they for?
Okay, so I'm sure you heard during the press conference that as part of enhancing our patrol system in terms of our lines, we are introducing the use of drones. Yes, to monitor our lines, and this will help us get immediate or instant information about how our lines are performing. If there are issues with our lines, and this will also contribute to our response time when there are outages.
I see. Now, when is this effective?
Come again.
When are we to fully roll this out? Because I just left your website that says that this was introduced earlier in October 2020. Is this a newer version? Is this the same one that were procured back then? Or is there a difference, if you will? Please share.
Okay, so this is part of our Category 3 backbone infrastructure. We're supposed to take off between 12 to 18 months. And its main activity or role is to help improve the identification of defects and hotspots in our medium voltage lines. So we are using these drones for network inspection, patrol our lines, to be able to identify these defects and hotspots so that we can attend to them swiftly.
Of what bigger benefit will this be, for example, in terms of power theft and all the other issues that you suffer beyond the ones that you have already enumerated? Will this go a long way in helping to fix that?
I think that you've rightly answered the question of monitoring and being able to identify certain wrong or...
Hello, Doc.
Sunrise on
Hello, Dr.
FM,
Aiku.
The best in the morning.
Hello, Dr. Aiku. Well, we'll have to find. So, Doc, there you have some layer of information saying that, well, it will do, among other things, but also it was going on to the power theft conversation, which is a very big one. What? How does that sound to you?
I think it's a good relief. You know, we have always been complaining for several years about ECG's inefficiencies when it comes to, you know, revenue mobilization, when it comes to distribution challenges. And so if these drones are going to be deployed in making sure that these issues are solved, I think that we must commend and encourage the leadership of ECG to continue to do more. There are so many things for them to do, and not only them, many other state institutions will have to be, you know, roping in measures like this to solve significant challenges that they face. I am happy I mean, I'm hoping to know more about what they want to
Great.
do, because it sounds like a good idea.
Doc is back on the line.
Okay.
Let me bring in Dr. Ninia Iku. So the line went off. I was asking about how this helps in trying to fight power theft, etc. What do you say?
Yes, so I mentioned earlier
On 3FM,
that
the best in the
the
morning.
the acquisition and introduction of drones is part of our category 3 backbone infrastructure. And we are supposed to roll this out between 12 to 18 months at the cost of 1.93 billion Ghana cedis. And this acquisition of drones is just one part of our backbone investments that will permanently transform ECG capacity to deliver reliable power. So as part of this, we have the construction of the 11 kV and 33 kV feeders, conversion of selected feeders, and then continuation of original system improvement project and injection of transformers at scale. And then we have the introduction of the drones for network inspection to improve the identification of defects and hotspots on our medium voltage lines.
I see.
So apart from patrolling our lines, it's also to ward off theft. I mean, when you see drones flying, what comes to mind is that you are being watched. So yes, theft, check defects, hotspots. At the end of the day, it's for us to deliver reliable power.
Right. And for example, what sanctions will prevail if in the scanning or in the monitoring somebody is caught? What happens? Is it just for show to show that we are technologically advanced, or there be real-time sanctions?
You know, when it comes to prosecution, there are government agencies responsible. So when they are arrested, and as I always say or indicate in my conversations, when it comes to collaboration, ECG collaborates with all our security agencies, from fire to police, national security, and all. So whenever these things happen, we hand them over to the police, and then, as you are aware, the law is the law.
Dr. Ninia Ikua, thank you very much indeed for your time. He's General Manager for External Communications for the ECG. Doc, I know you have to run your closing thoughts, and then I'll bring Dr. Ramsey to have the rest of your time.
I think that we'll be waiting for the full operations to be, done for us to see exactly how far they can go with it. But I want to commend the leadership for thinking outside the box,
Right.
and looking forward to ramp up their revenue mobilization and also reduce distribution inefficiencies.
Great.
With regards to this, yeah.
Dr. Samia is presidential aide at the office of the president. We're grateful that you joined us. He has to run because the presidency is calling. Dr. Ramsey, now ECG, drones, and matters are rising. What say ye?
Yeah, definitely, Johnny. I mean, once upon a time in the tech field, I quite understand and acknowledge this technological intervention that ECG wants to bring into their operations to enhance efficiency and mitigate the risks discussed this morning. I think that ECG has been doing well so far, and let me use this platform to comment the leadership of ECG from the top to the bottom, and they should continue the good work to sustain our power across the length and breadth of this country.
Right.
Yes, drones and tackling these menace of theft, and indeed also to detect faults, is quite advanced, and China uses the same methodology.
Right.
If you look at the high mountain regions in China, for example, areas where these technicians find it difficult to reach, or maybe due to the wind, the power, or
That's right.
the speed of winds and all that, and affecting the way they are able to mitigate the risk of maybe faults on the line. They use drones, even de-icing. You know, sometimes in winter, these power lines have ice all over it, and it affects it. So they use drones to clear it. So I think that
if you try, you will die.
If you try, you die, exactly. So I think that, yes, and also ensuring that they save lives and protect the lives of their staff. I think that it is a well thought through intervention, and we need to commend them and support them. Just because a previous administration brought about drones to fight galamsey, and it was a loot and share agenda, and today the batteries of the drones cannot even be found, or even the remote that controls the drone cannot even be found. Doesn't mean that the idea of using drones to enhance operational efficiency and also to mitigate operational hazards is not a good one. I think that we should give them the benefit of the doubt to see how best they will be able to implement this intervention and be able to mitigate the issues that we are discussing. So I stand for it. I think that it is rational, and I believe that technological innovation in enhancing operational efficiency and various public policies should be the way forward. And so if ECG is leading the charge, we need to support them. I would have wished, Jordan, that the drones would be like manufactured in Ghana through maybe a project by the government, supported through the Ministry of Education, together with one tertiary education, maybe a KNUST. You know what I mean? Instead of maybe procuring them from overseas. So let's look at also that aspect going forward, because we need to build Ghanaian
capacity.
Yes, and innovations and solutions to tackle Ghanaian contemporary issues.
Great. Let's take a break. When we return from this break, I'm sure that we can have another conversation with Dr. Ramsey, who is in the studio here with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. To the top of the hour 10 here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. My name is Johnny. He's my guest. In studio is Dr. Ramsey, and he is the Director of Research at the United Party. Doc, thank you very much indeed for staying with us. Let's go to the market. I'm sure recently you've been hearing the market women, some in Bono, some in the Ashanti region, screaming out their lungs and calling out to government and blaming the government and saying that, look, we have our wares here. People are not buying them, perishable goods, plantain, tomatoes, onions, etc., because the people have no money in their pocket. Have you been to the market recently?
Well, I have been to the market, but not for these items.
And what did you see? Did you witness the things that are being talked about? Is that a reality on the ground? You're a research man.
Yes, I did not witness that, to be honest, but also my answer is also not to dispute the sentiments coming from these market
Right.
women as well. Johnny, I think that there are some fundamental issues here within our market space, and anybody that is well endowed with the erudition of how our markets operate would appreciate what I'm going to say. For years, Ghana's markets have been dominated by an oligarch. Yes.
It's an oligarchy.
Yeah. And they are in the form of market queens.
Okay.
Right. And they determine the cost of food, but in the market. You have market queen for tomatoes, for pepper, for ginger, for onions.
Yeah.
Everything sold in the market. You have a queen for it. And I think that the time has come because it has become, for want of a better word, a syndicate for profiteering and some form of sabotage over the years. And the time has come for us to regulate that sector very well. And that is why, if you look at the Great Transformational Plan of the United Party, we have said that government should empower local companies within the districts to buy food from farm gates through a structured cooperative that would compete, that will create a parallel competition between the market queens and then forces of demand and supply, so that it can be able to bring down the prices of goods. So, for example, what I'm trying to say is that if the market queens maybe increase a box of tomato, let's say to 5,000 cedis,
Right.
and there is a government policy and intervention in place where it empowers companies or individuals within the district to buy directly from farm gates, right, at a very favorable spot price. When you bring it to the market and the market queens are pegging it at 5,000, you are selling at 2,000.
Right.
Definitely, you will force them
To bring their
to reduce,
bring
because
the
then
price.
they will lose in this regard. And I think that is what is happening across various markets today. There is some form of parallel competition created.
Okay.
And for that matter, those syndicates that are enjoying profiteering over the years are no longer enjoying from that, because
And that's why they are crying.
That's why they are crying. That is also something that is happening. There is some form of parallel competition created to downplay their profiteering agenda. So these are some of the challenges that we face within our various market centers. And I think that you can't remember, under the previous administration, there was a time that plantain was being
at the
sold.
Greek ministry.
Can you imagine?
Amadan ministry. Amadan ministry. I pray this government doesn't go that direction, because it was such in a bad taste. In fact, that conversation first of all started when they then find a Greek minister who wanted to be president,
Yes.
Dr. Efri Akuto, started by saying a bunch of plantain costs 5 cedis. I asked him, from which market? That answer didn't come in. Then subsequently, the plantains were brought to the ministry. Come on, I mean, it was a big joke.
I mean,
it was a joke.
So I mean, instead of centralizing it, he should have decentralized it and empowered, create more like a district food buying company from various individuals to do that. So when they bring that farm produce into the market at this rate, it would force these market queens to bring down their prices. And I think that he did that for political expediency, but it backfired against him. He should have made it a national policy and decentralized it across the various districts. That would have gone a long way in helping the situation.
But the
with
Greek
food
minister is
inflation.
also saying that, look, for the first time, there is abundance of food. Kofi Asari, I spoke with him a while ago, says he doesn't know where the Greek minister is sourcing that information from. Do you get the sense that there's abundance of food? That's why these perishable goods are getting rotten on the market?
No, I mean,
You don't think there's abundance
I
of food?
I mean, I differ in this opinion. I mean, let's take tomato for example. We have an annual demand of 1.2 million
Right.
metric tons of tomatoes into
Right.
this country. Our local production is about 500,000 metric tons, of which 700,000 is being imported
Yeah.
from Burkina Faso
Yeah.
and then supported by Morocco. Do you know that? We import tomatoes from Morocco.
I know. Very much aware. Even though we have been told some time ago that we are a net exporter of tomatoes and onions.
And tomato is like a base ingredient in every Ghanaian household. So using that alone, you can tell that, Johnny, we have a long way to go. Right. Part of the challenges that farmers face in this country is financing. And I've always argued that if you look across the world, let's take Brazil, for example. The commercial farmers in Brazil do not borrow at a double-digit interest rate on their loans.
Okay.
No country that has successfully endeavored in commercial farming has its interest rates at a double digit.
Right.
It has never happened in any country that has been successful in commercial farming. Take Malaysia, to be precise. And so I believe that the government of the day, through the central bank, right, should, for a matter of fact, Johnny,
Right.
give some form of incentives to banks and ensure that banks give a certain quota of their
Sunrise on
deposits
3FM,
to commercial
the
farmers
best in
at
the
a
morning.
concessionary rate.
Right.
And when they do that, government should support them with some form of fiscal incentives. You understand? Or maybe the required deposit amount for every bank that supports commercial farmers should be lessened or should be reduced.
Right.
So as an incentive for them to continue supporting our agricultural sector. Because, I mean, we cannot all put it at the doorstep of government, right? That government should provide food for us. Government can provide the right incentives and policies in place so that they can drive private individuals to indulge in this agricultural sector to ensure that we are a net exporter of food and also to contribute to our food security.
Sunrise
So this
on
is the
3FM,
position of the
the
United
best
Party
in
that
the
indeed,
morning.
going forward, our commercial farmers cannot survive with the current interest rates that are held in our various banks. It cannot hold water. And for us to enhance that, I mean, our agricultural sector is a robust and showing a positive trajectory. We ought to tackle the financing architecture, right? And indeed, when it comes to also agric mechanization, it's also another point. We cannot indulge in these anachronistic methods of farming. I mean, plowing with cows, using donkeys, manual labor and all that.
Right.
I mean, countries have far advanced when it comes to agric. Brazil is one good example. We need to support our educational system, right? Train the right engineers,
Right.
the right, and indeed identify the right inventors. I mean, we have a Steve Jobs in Ghana.
That's right.
We have our version of Steve Jobs.
We have just not found him.
We've not just found him.
We've not
and-
looked for him.
and supported.
On 3FM,
But if we
the
create
best in
the right
morning.
policies and platform, it would bring them. It would bring them. And that's why I keep on saying that KNUSC should be supported much. So that all the young brains, the young talents we have there can be able to now manufacture machines made from Ghanaian iron, Ghanaian steel. You know what I mean? Ghanaian sweat, ingenuity, and innovation to support our various sectors in this country. So that at least going forward, we will know that when it comes to farming, at least 90% or let's say 60-70% of all the inputs is
Sunrise
manufactured in
on
Ghana.
3FM,
Let's look at also
the best
fertilizer.
in the
Let me
morning.
commend the current management of Tema Oil Refinery for revamping and reviving.
Combat.
Yes, combat. For reviving the sector. At a particular point in time, a certain party wanted to sell it for a mere penny. But these competent managers turned the fortunes of this company. And today, they are contributing to at least 30% of Ghana's
Right.
petroleum usage. Right. Now, a byproduct of crude oil is fertilizer. And I think that we are a net importer of fertilizer in this country. And if you quite recollect, during the Russian-Ukraine war,
We were told that we couldn't get urea from
Ukraine. It affected us.
That was the same agric minister who sold plantain to us.
Exactly.
At the ministry.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
I was just checking.
yes,
That's all.
if we revamp it further and buy the right machines, government can be able to even supply more fertilizers to these peasant and commercial farmers, right, at subsidized rate or even for free, so that it can help revamp our agric sector, right, reduce reliability on importation from these countries,
Right.
because it at any time, lessons from the Russian-Ukraine war has taught us that if we do not produce and have a deliberate agenda for import substitution, anytime there's a crisis globally, it affects us.
Doc, I thank you very much indeed for your time. We're grateful. That's Dr. Ramsey Inuza. He is the Director of Research at the United Party. How's your leader now, Alan Traman? How's he doing these days?
Alan is doing fantastic.
It's fine.
He's doing fantastic.
Will he still be your leader? Is he your leader?
He's our leader.
Or would you go to Congress or conference? What would you call yours?
Well, it will be Congress.
It will be a Congress. Will you go to
Yes.
Congress?
For now, there are plans in place to put in all
Sunrise
the
on 3
right
FM, the
structures.
best in the morning.
So I know that at the right time, we will definitely.
There's a new kid on the block, the bass.
Yes, I've heard about the base.
Does it scare you?
Oh no! I mean, if you listen to their mantra, Ghana first. There's a nexus with their mantra and our mantra, because we also.
So are you
uphold the
looking
Ghana
at
First
a
agenda.
unity agenda?
We have always talked about the government of national unity, right? Inclusivity, right? Whether it's a Johnny Biter or a Johnny Liquor.
No, don't mind those who are pushing that narrative.
Or are inclusive.
Don't mind all those who are pushing this Johnny Liquor, Johnny whatever it is. Those same people said the program is useless. Now they are looking for it to do what for them.
Well, Johnny, let me commend you for the good work also you're doing for Mother
Thank
Ghana.
you. We
continue to speak truth to power.
We are never perturbed.
Yes,
they
yes.
should fix their house and fix their issues. Stop the bickering that they have in between them and behave like grown men and women. That's what is important. I told them this many years ago. They didn't listen. After the defeat, I told them, go into conclave. Don't come and do contest. They didn't listen. See, small research, free advice. They won't listen. So I wish them all the best.